Hi guys, so I'm Skylar and I just read My Life with the Walter Boys. So, this book's on Wattpad and I bought it. You can read it on Wattpad, but there are a bunch of changes and stuff. So basically it's about a girl named Jackie and her parents die and she has to go live with her mom's friend from high school, and this woman has 12 boys. So she has to deal with the loss of her parents and living with 12 boys. She actually does not have 12 boys, but the one girl in the house, she basically acts like a boy and she feels like she has to be a boy. So and that's one of the differences in the Wattpad version. Is in the Wattpad version she's a boy. Before we get started, if you watched my Carve the Mark book review, you know that I take characters in a book very seriously. So we're just gonna talk about the all the characters in the book, all the boys, and just how much I love the relationship that Jackie developed with each of them. And this is spoilers right now, so if you haven't read the book, then make sure you go read this. So the first bond that she makes, I'm not really going to talk about the little kids, except for Parker, because there is a really nice scene with Parker there. But with Jack and Jordan and Zach and Benny, they're down to earth about anything. They were still mischievous and stuff, but for the most part she didn't have to develop a relationship with them because they're little kids and they don't care. The very first relationship she made was Nathan. I just love their relationship. They'd always go running and stuff. And then that one day, after that whole party fiasco, when Cole dragged her out of the house and stuff, and she did not want to go get out of the bed that morning, and Nathan pushed her to go running. And even though she didn't, I just thought that was a nice thing of him to do, to be it'll make you feel better. And that was definitely another thing as to why she was so upset, is because Nathan was her friend and she didn't want to go running with him on the one day that he needed her to, because she would have been there when he had a seizure. And then Lee kicked her out. He was like, you aren't part of the family, and I was so upset at that. I was like, ugh. And then she went to Will's house, and I just loved that, how she was like, I had nowhere else to go. You said that I could come whenever I wanted or needed you, and I need you. And it was so sweet because they just they didn't really talk about it. He just kind of held her as she cried, and then she fell asleep. And then there was Cole. It was at this point in the book that I was very upset with Cole, so we're not even gonna get into that yet. My favorite relationship that she ended up making in the Walter Boy house is with Danny. And I just love that because she made it when she was just sick and tired of Cole, and she went in to the theater and she noticed Danny was practicing his monologue and stuff to get going the Romeo and Juliet play, and she just started reciting lines with him, and it was so cool because it happened so naturally. And she helped him understand the play and understand what was going on. That was when he finally submerged himself into his character and he became Romeo. And that is why, my friends, that talent scout was like, would you like to come to this camp? Because of Jackie. Not just because of Jackie, because of him too, but because of Jackie's help and the relationship that they developed through that point in time. And then she was like, oh, I got you a plane ticket to New York because I know you like the city and stuff. And yeah, obviously I don't like them as like together, but I really love their friend relationship. And just so you know, I'm a Cole shipper. I know there are probably some Alex shippers, but I'm definitely a Cole shipper. And I love that Alex kind of made Jackie happy in the time that they were together, but it's just Cole and Jackie are goals. So now I'm gonna talk about Parker. I loved Parker so much. I love how she's kind of like, she's very tomboyish, and she's very proud of being a tomboy and being one of the 12 Walter boys. But, you know, there comes a time where you've gotta turn off the tomboyish part of you and be a girl. And, you know, she never really learned that until the whole wedding, and Parker's just like, why do I have to wear a dress? And then they have that whole conversation where Parker confides in Jackie and tells her about how basically she feels like she has to live up to this image of who she should be, that being a boy, and that's literally how Jackie feels. And I feel like they had so much in common in that moment that they bonded. It was like the only conversation that they had in the whole book, but it meant so much because Jackie feels like she has to be this perfect person, and then Parker feels like she has to be a boy because she lives in a house full of boys. I love this scene so much that, like, I know there's like a sequel to the Walter Boys, My Life with the Walter Boys, and it's called My Life as a Walter Boy, but you have to read the Wattpad version in order to read it. I never did, and apparently it's in like Cole's point of view, and it's like what he does while Jackie's in New York. And I've never really been interested in reading it, but this is what I'm interested in reading. Is a book called My Life as a Walter Boy, and it's about Parker. And she's like 15 and stuff, 16. She's starting to wear makeup, and all the boys are looking at her because she's so beautiful. And then all her brothers are like protective of her. And we get to see Zach and Benny, like, how old would they be? They'd be 12. And then Jack and Jordan would be 18. And just like protecting her. And then all her other older brothers and then her cousins like coming over and meeting the guy that she's dating and stuff. And like, you heard her, you know? And I just think that'd be so cool. And then we get to see like Jackie and Cole maybe, possibly, hopefully married, and we get to see Jackie and Parker too, like having a relationship, and Jackie maybe gives her boy advice, and it's just like they have girl talk, and we get to see their relationship further develop. But yeah, so Ali Novik, aka Fall Swimmer, if you are watching this, that's my request. Please do this, because that would be amazing, and I will buy like 10 of those books for you. So then there's Lee and Isaac, and Lee told Jackie like the whole story of their mom walking out and then their dad deciding that they couldn't do it, and so he handed them off to his brother. Now their dad comes over to see them like once a year or something, and I was like, oh, Lee is just one of those guys. Obviously he doesn't want to tell people his feelings. I mean, none of the Walter boys are like that. And I feel like Lee is the biggest one of those, because I mean, he pushes I feel like he pushes everybody away, especially Jackie, and he told her why. He told her, like, I have mommy issues, and like Aunt Catherine is the closest I have to a mom, and when you came in here, it was just like you were taking that away from me, and I didn't know how to talk to you. And then I realized that you and I are exactly alike in our circumstances, and I shouldn't have pushed you away. I should have pulled you closer. I really liked that confession because it just mended the relationship, and I like how there were no hard feelings at all. And the only thing I'm disappointed about is there was no like heart to heart with Isaac and Jackie. Like they had one with all the other older boys, like she developed a relationship with them. There wasn't much one for Isaac, you know? I think that was probably because like I feel like Isaac was down to earth like the kids too. He's just closed off, you know? I wish he'd like opened up, and maybe we could have found out what he was doing when like he wouldn't show up to go home, and like who he got a ride with. I have a feeling that he got a ride with girls. I feel like he's one of those guys who like has a lot of girlfriends, and I think when Cole's gone, he's gonna be like the king of the school. Now, let's talk about Cole, Alex, and Jackie. I don't even know where to start. I think both of the guys were so immature about the whole thing and so unreasonable and selfish. First, it started off with Cole dating Mary Black. I feel like Cole should have made sure with Alex. Maybe that's just a girl thing, but there should be like a rule. I mean, they have a rule not to like tell on each other. They should have a rule, don't date ex-girlfriends. They literally let two girls come in between them. They let Mary and Jackie come in between them, and that's not good. But then Alex should have handled it better, you know? Like, it was a back and forth thing of mistakes, and the longer it went on, the more people it affected, and just the worse it was for everybody. Because, I mean, Cole did say, like, I tried to talk to him. I tried to tell him that I didn't know, and he wouldn't hear me. And, like, Alex should have let him talk, but then it's hard to let someone you're pissed at explain themselves, because a lot of that it is just excuses, and you don't want to hear their excuses because you feel like you saw the whole thing when it happens right in front of your eyes. I hated how they dragged Jackie into it, like at the party, and I also hated that Alex did not believe Jackie when she told him that Mary basically rubbed her parents' deaths in her face. What a freaking bitch. You know, like, I can understand why she didn't want to go to Mary's party. Like, I wouldn't want to. And then Cole has to drag her there, and after getting her drunk earlier. That was another thing. Okay. It was just a testament to Cole's ability to be an ass. He brought her somewhere where he knew she was going to get drunk. I feel like he knew what would happen, and he still did it. And so, like, they played spin the bottle, and he had to pick, and he picked Jackie, and it was like, okay, really? She's dealing with her parents' deaths, and you know exactly how you make her feel, and she didn't want to play in the first place. The reason why I like their relationship so much is because he pushes her to do things that she'd never ever do. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Taylor Swift song, The Way I Loved You, but that is a perfect example of the Alex, Cole, Jackie love triangle. There's a line in there that says, he's charming and endearing and I'm comfortable. And then it goes, but I miss screaming and fighting and kissing in the rain. It's 2 a.m. and I'm cursing your name. I feel like the second part is Cole and the first part is Alex. Like, she even said in the book, like, I'm comfortable with Alex and I like that feeling. But with Cole, it's unpredictable and chaotic, and then her feelings go out of whack. And then, like she said, I forget about my parents and my sister, and she doesn't like that. She feels like she should be in mourning and like wearing black all the time and, you know, becoming this person that does everything for them because they died. Like, Cole never met them, but he knows that they want her to live her life, and that's the truth. And so he makes her live. But I will say, obviously, I hated it when Cole was an ass. The 2 times where he was a total ass was when he kissed her and spun the bottle, and then he dragged her to Mary's party, and then Alex was there. That made me so mad because he literally used Jackie to get to Alex. And that's just not what brothers do. They do not or they shouldn't at least, let a girl get in between them, and they shouldn't use a girl to hurt them. And another time he did it was at the wedding. But at that point, Alex had it with them, and it was basically Alex. I mean, Cole literally just asked her if she wanted a drink. Knowing Cole, he probably was being an ass to Alex, but Alex shouldn't have reacted the way he did. But at least something good came out of that. And Danny got $200 on his bet. So that's good for his New York trip. Just the little insignificant scenes, oh my gosh. The 2 I absolutely loved were the pool scene when she gets there, or they tackle her into the pool, and then she gets up, they're like all smirking and stuff because she's wearing a white shirt. And then, was it Will who gave her a towel? And somebody's like, I'm just upset that you gave her a towel. It symbolized how stressful and chaotic the whole book was going to be. And it basically told Jackie, like, you're in for a wild ride. And I was actually flipping through the pages. All I saw was, what's the worst that can happen? And I was like, this like summarizes up the whole book in one sentence. What's the worst that can happen when you put a girl in a testosterone-filled house? Like, so then the second part was Cole and Danny's birthday, and Jack and Jordan gave them a free Wet Willy pass, and Jackie's like, what's a Wet Willy? And one of them, I can't remember which one, they were like, it's this, and they gave her Wet Willy. It was so hilarious. I die laughing every single time I read it. It will never get old. That's what I love most about this book, is like all the guys and how true they are to their sexuality, and yeah, and they're just all beautiful. So when it was raining and all of them started playing in the rain, it was so awesome because like it really showed that she was friends with every single one of those water boys, and none of them had any beef with her. And it was so beautiful because like it was at that moment where she was truly a part of the family. Anyways, I love that scene. I love all those 3 scenes. They're awesome. The whole book is awesome. I love all the characters. I love how mysterious Cole was in the beginning. You basically saw what he let you see, and that was the whole image that he made for himself. And I mean, he was like Jackie and Parker, you know? He felt like he had to be a man whore. And that was the whole thing with Jackie, is like, when like Cole tried to apologize to her, she was like, no, because no matter what he said, he never truly showed her that she wasn't just another girl to him. Last thing about Cole, it's about Danny and Cole. Like, you never really see their relationship because they're completely total opposites, and they're like, you know, Danny is a part of the drama squad, and then Cole's the cool people squad, you know, like they don't hang out in school, but I mean, they have a good relationship. And I love how Danny was telling Jackie about it, how Jackie's the best thing that's ever happened to him since football, and how he talks about her all the time to him. And I will never forget what he told her when she said it's weird how he makes her feel, and you know, she just know if she likes it or not and whatever. And he's like, well, the good thing about Cole is he took your mind off your parents. For the longest time ever, she thought that that was a bad thing. She thought that she shouldn't not be thinking about her parents 24/7, you know? But just like Danny saying that, she realized that that's okay, you know? Like, she should move on and forget. Like, I mean, never forget, but just realize that as long as she keeps going and she moves forward with her life, and she does stuff that she never would have given herself, never would have had the opportunity to do, then they will be proud of her. They'll always be proud of her. And I mean, it's hard to impress dead people. I love how it's really not a love story. You know, it's her journey to being okay with her parents' death, and using the relationships that she makes with all these new people to help her figure out that it's okay not to be perfect. Like, her parents don't want her to be perfect, they just want her to be happy, and that's what she should want for herself too. Thank you for watching. I hope you would subscribe and like this video. That would really make my day. And feel free to comment your thoughts. Bye!